Welcome back, viewers, to the latest researches and news. We told you before that rumors were circulating about peace negotiations between Tigray and the Ethiopian government in Nairobi, Kenya now. The Tigray government itself has directly addressed those rumors, and the statement makes the real picture much clearer. Combined with mass youth recruitment, troop movements toward the front, border build-ups, and a 9-armed group statement from Tigray's own president, everything points in one direction. Let's go through it all in detail. As we informed you in a previous video, there were rumors of peace negotiations between Tigray and the Ethiopian government taking place in Nairobi, Kenya now. A latest statement has been received that clarifies the reality. The head of the Bureau of Communication Affairs of the Tigray government said in a recent statement that people should understand that rumors of ongoing negotiations for peace that Tigrayan delegates have traveled to Kenya, that negotiators have entered Tigray, and similar claims are far from the truth and are deliberately invented by enemies to slow down their struggle. This is a direct official denial from within the Tigray government itself, and it changes how we should understand everything we reported earlier about the possible Nairobi meeting. Rather than confirming those talks, the Tigray government is now explicitly framing that entire narrative as disinformation, meant to create a false sense that the escalation is already underway. This is an important update to the rumors we brought you before, and it's exactly why we always tell you to treat these early diplomatic rumors with caution until confirmed. He said the Tigrayan diaspora is doing its part to strengthen diplomacy, and that advocacy activities are also being intensified. He added that government structures should support and strengthen the national struggle of the entire people of Tigray, along with people abroad, in order to realize the full right of self-determination of Tigray as soon as possible. Rather than pointing toward negotiation, this part of the statement points toward continued, intensified political mobilization, both inside Tigray and among Tigrayans living abroad, calling explicitly for the full right of self-determination. As soon as possible reinforces the same tone we saw in the Tigray People's Liberation Front's earlier decisive phase statement, rather than signaling any softening of position. We have received many reports from credible sources inside Tigray that a large number of young people are joining the Tigray Defense Force in the region and receiving military training. We have received quite a few videos from training centers, some of which we'll share with you at the end of this video, showing large numbers of Tigrayan youth undergoing military training. This directly confirms on the ground exactly what the Tigray People's Liberation Front's official statement described: earlier mobilization of youth and the strengthening of Tigray's forces. Seeing this reflected in actual training center footage rather than just official language gives us a clearer sense of just how large-scale this recruitment effort genuinely appears to be. As I mentioned, the head of the Bureau of Communication Affairs stated clearly in his recent remarks that no negotiations are taking place. Taken together with everything else we're covering today, this strongly suggests that the Tigray government may be preparing to enter renewed conflict with the Ethiopian government, rather than preparing for talks. When an official denial of peace talks is paired with active youth recruitment, military training, and troop movement, the combination tells a much clearer story than any single piece on its own. A government preparing for genuine negotiations typically doesn't simultaneously deny all talk of diplomacy while intensifying recruitment. This pattern lines up far more closely with preparation for confrontation. In addition to this, we've received several videos from the Frontline showing the movement of Tigray Defense Force soldiers advancing forward. For security reasons, we are not able to share these specific videos with you right now. Withholding operational footage like this is a reasonable and common precaution. Releasing real-time troop movement videos could expose active positions or intentions to opposing forces, which is why we're only describing what's being reported rather than showing the footage itself at this stage. As we've informed you across several previous videos, the Tigray Defense Force remains positioned with heavy weapons along both the Amhara-Afar border and the Amhara-Tigray border. This is a continuation of a pattern we've been tracking for some time now. Forward deployed forces with heavy weapons on multiple borders simultaneously is not a defensive-only posture. As we explained in earlier videos, this kind of multi-front positioning is generally aimed at keeping pressure on the Ethiopian National Defense Force across several directions at once. Perhaps most significantly, Tigray's president, Debretsion, said in his latest statement that 9 armed groups have now come together and will very soon overthrow the Ethiopian government. This is the first time that so many forces have risen up against the Ethiopian government all at the same time. This is the same alliance report we broke down for you in an earlier video. 9 armed groups, reportedly including the Tigray People's Liberation Front, Amhara Fano, the Oromo Liberation Army, and Afar's Ugugumo, among others. Hearing Debretsion frame this so directly, not just as a coordination effort, but as a force that will very soon overthrow the government, is a significant escalation in tone compared to how that story was first reported. It moves this from an unclear, early-stage alliance report toward a much more confident, publicly stated claim from Tigray's top leader. A similar statement also came from a Fano commander, which we had already informed you about previously, referring to our earlier coverage of Zemeni Kassi's interview, in which he confirmed a unified Fano command and alliances agreed with at least 7 organizations, including Tigrayan forces. Debretsion's statement and Zemeni Kassi's earlier interview now appear to be describing the same underlying alliance from 2 different sides: Tigray's political leadership on one hand and Fano's military leadership on the other, both independently confirming that this coordinated multi-group front is real and active. In addition, a video statement has also emerged from an armed group in Afar, indicating that they are ready to support other forces in this fight against the Ethiopian government. This would represent the Ugugumo group specifically, whom we mentioned in our earlier alliance coverage. An independent video statement from within Afar itself, expressing readiness to join this broader coalition, adds another layer of confirmation to the alliance story, coming directly from the group's own side rather than through Debretsion or Zemeni Kassi's accounts alone. The Ethiopian government is currently in a critical position, and anything could happen at any moment. As we've informed you, both yesterday and today, the Ethiopian military has carried out drone strikes on Tigray region, including the strike we covered in Ndete district near Mekele. Bringing everything together, the denied peace talks, the youth mobilization, the frontline troop movements, the border build-ups, the 9-group alliance climb, and continued drone strikes from the Ethiopian side, this paints a picture of a government facing pressure from multiple directions at once, while simultaneously continuing military action rather than easing it. Describing the government's position as critical, reflects just how many of these pressures appear to be converging at the same time. So here's where things truly stand. The Tigray government has firmly denied any Nairobi peace talks, framing that entire rumor as enemy-invented disinformation, while at the same time intensifying youth recruitment, military training, and troop movement toward the front. Combined with Debretion's own statement about a 9-group alliance forming against the Ethiopian government. A matching statement from Fano's leadership, a supportive statement from an Afar armed group, and continued Ethiopian drone strikes on Tigray. The picture that emerges is one of a region moving further away from any near-term peace, not closer to it. We'll keep bringing you every verified update along with the training center footage we mentioned right after this. Subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss what comes next.